Man, I love playoffs, but MLB playoffs, what's so special about them?
Like I was saying earlier, game of inches. Everything you do is bigger. The stakes are higher.
Yeah.
I mean, in the way that they have their playoffs set up, I mean, the way the game is, one error can cost you.
And a guy who hits 4 home runs or 5 home runs in a single season all of a sudden has 3 in the playoffs.
And anybody can get hot at a certain time. And anybody can go cold, as we see with Jose Altuve.
But that's what I love about it, because you realize, okay, these are all professional athletes. Everyone's good. Everybody is good. Everyone can play. But I want to shift over to the National League real quick. What happened?
Okay. You already pressed record on that?
Yes, sir.
All right,
National League. We got 2 wild card teams, right?
Yeah. 2 wild card teams that knocked out division winners.
So you got Bryce Harper with the Phillies. And what's your opinion on Harp before we get into that series?
A hothead, but the thing is, hey, he came up big yesterday with an Oppo home run.
Has he
lived up to his contract? No, not really. But
what about did the hype get him the contract?
Yeah, it did. It got him the contract. I mean, like, the Phillies spent a lot of money.
Is it because he's a white dude?
I don't think it's because he's white. It's just because, he started out really good with the Nationals. Started out really well. Arrogant as fuck, but
his teammates hated him.
Because he was arrogant as fuck. Dusty Baker dealt with him.
Oh, I didn't remember. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Dusty Baker, dealt with him. And
how's their overall team, Philly? Are they deep?
They got Aaron Nola. You got some good pitching there.
Why did Bryce Harper pick Philly?
Because they probably gave him the most money. And then they got JT Realmuto for their catcher. He's a really good hitter. Let's see, who else do they have? They got somebody else I can't think of right now. But
they're playing well. And then on the other side of that, you got
Manny Machado.
I really like San Diego, not just because I've been so happy they beat the Dodgers, just because the city itself deserves it.
Yeah, the city itself. Yeah, I mean, they lost the Chargers and everything.
The Rockets.
Yeah, way back when.
But, dude, the fans, when they beat the Dodgers, they were going crazy.
Oh, yeah. Because the Dodgers had owned their asses that season. They lost every series that they played against the Dodgers and then beat them in the playoffs. So it's really not how you start, but how you finish.
And Dodgers had Manny Machado. And there were a couple plays Manny Machado made on the defensive end that were huge for the Padres against the Dodgers. And on the other side of that, the Dodgers third baseman came up short.
Yeah, I think it was Justin Turner.
Do you think they made a mistake not re-signing him?
Well, here's a thing.
What was the real reason behind all that?
The thing is, in that 2018 postseason, Manny Machado kind of wimped out on some plays, on some defensive plays, and they kind of looked at him as being lazy.
Hence, maybe he didn't want to get hurt to get a contract?
I guess so. I mean, it was basically like they made a big deal was made out of him not going all out on some plays that could have ended innings, or could have made a difference,
Did you witness it yourself?
I did. And yeah, I mean, he
sometimes
kind of gave up on some plays, took a play off.
Sometimes teams will, I believe you, but sometimes teams will kind of do that to devalue a player.
Yeah, but hey, he still got $300 million from San Diego.
What's up with the Dodgers with the white boys?
What do you mean?
They have a lot of white guys compared to.
Shit, I don't know.
I think
they got Mookie Betts.
Mookie Betts is a legend, but I'm talking about Bellinger. What happened to this dude?
Oh, Bellinger. Oh, God. I mean, talk about a fall from grace.
Remember when we played them in the World Series? He was like 40-something home runs?
Yeah, that season. But he didn't do shit in the World Series. He struck out 17 times.
My theory, he was cheating.
Well, here's the thing. My theory is Carlos Correa just ended his career. If you don't know the facts, shut the fuck up.
Who is that pitcher they had that's not playing anymore? Is it Bauer?
Oh, yeah, Trevor Bauer. Came over from Cincinnati.
Why isn't he...
he had apparently...
I know he has
sexually
issues.
assaulted or like rough sex with some lady, and she's just airing all the dirty laundry. So I think the Dodgers voided his contract and basically said, "Okay, dude, you got to go."
He also is a very hard-headed dude, but
he likes to talk a lot of shit.
You can't doubt his talent. That's the one thing I don't like.
And I think he lives in the Woodlands, dude, in the off-season.
He's from Texas?
I don't think he's from Texas, but I think he just lives up in the Woodlands.
Oh, well,
probably with Lee Majors, you know.
I don't hate on the Woodlands, but
me either.
He seems like the type of dude that would live in the Woodlands. Man, Philly, San Diego. Who do you got tomorrow night, Game 3?
That's kind of a tough series to call because
they're back in Philly. Philly fans are going to be nuts.
Of course. And, you know, San Diego really came back. You know, it looked like that Philly was going to take a 2-0 lead. But
that also makes, in my opinion, Philly, it depletes their heart. It's like, man, we had that game.
Because they stole the first game, and they almost gave that game away, too.
And that's the goal. That's the goal of a road team.
Of course. And I remember the Rockets were excellent at doing that. You know, at least stealing one and then going back to Houston.
What year, though?
1995. Remember, we were the perennial underdogs that year. But, yeah, I mean, San Diego has the momentum now. So I'm not sure who you have. You don't have Musgrove, I believe. But you got, you know, some good pitching coming. The offense just has to still be on their game because, you know, Josh Bell had a horrible, horrible tenure to end the regular season. Then all of a sudden he hits a home run, you know, it's a momentum, you know, builder.
Yankees, Astros, who would they rather face?
Okay, if the Astros go, it's all about matchups. Because, you know, the thing is...
I think San Diego would have a huge...
Well, they got a good staff, a good pitching staff, because like Yu Darvish.
A lot of people forgot about him.
Yeah, I mean, and he, you know, Yu Darvish is a good pitcher. He kind of tip pitches against us in the 2017
Oh, yeah.
World Series.
Holy shit.
And I think he's gotten better about that. But, yeah, so I think Yu Darvish pitched the first game and then Snell the second.
But that's smart on the Astros. That's what you're talking about, Alex Bregman looking over every pitch.
Yeah.
And teams are going to dissect you. That's not...
Yeah, it's just par for the course.
Yeah.
And, you know, I would rather see the Astros face the team that deserves to be there the most. You know, and I'm sure if we played justified that they didn't win it fair and square.
I smell a rant. Give us a little Jason Elliott rant moment.
Well, here's the thing. Joe Musgrove. Okay, dude, you didn't really have that much of a presence on the team. So if you're going to sit up here and say that, oh, it hurts me to wear this ring, I get embarrassed by it, give back the ring and the playoff money you received. You know, give that back. You know, the thing is, okay, we're going to be talking about this for I don't know how long, about this cheating scandal. He came out and said, oh, well, you know, if you investigate 30 other teams, you're probably not going to find things that you like. Okay, that is true. And then he's just coming out saying that he's embarrassed by it. Somebody probably told him to say that. I don't know. I mean, why are you changing your stance all of a sudden?
That's like a code, like a secret code. You don't do that to your teammates.
Yeah, I mean, even the ex-teammates. And you know.
It wasn't every player either.
No. And
it's a lot. But.
Yeah. And so the thing is, dude, if you're embarrassed by it, give the ring back. But don't try to get all fucking sanctimonious and high and mighty. Oh, dude, you know that it's tainted.
You think that favors us then? Because if I'm the Astros, I'm gonna be like, you know what, fuck this guy.
Yeah, I mean, it's like when you see him, you just want to knock a homer or two off of him. You know, but
how is he as a pitcher? Is he good? Is he bad?
He's actually pretty good. I mean, he pitched very, very well against the Mets.
And Mets were favored, right?
Yeah.
Damn.
And the Mets just collapsed. And they spent all that money. You know, they gave Max Scherzer a big contract. I mean, they gave so many people big contracts.
That's another good rant. Dodgers, Mets, money, spending. It works, but then it doesn't.
Yeah, because the thing is, it's not always about money. I mean, it's like, you know, the Yankees are seeing this now, and they saw this, you know, back then. You know, when they would spend all this money, it worked for a time, but then it started not to work. You know, when they lost in 2001.
Yeah, well, that shift was pretty evident, but the players they were spending that money on, like Mark Teixeira, that's not someone I feared.
Mark Teixeira was good.
He's a professional ball player, but he's not that Holy shit, they got A-Rod.
I mean, he was on the Texas Rangers. I think he was there when A-Rod was there. But, you know, the thing is, it's just you have to have a collection of talent that has the chemistry. You know, you can't.
How do you build that?
It's player development. They have
well,
to play
if you
together.
don't do the player development,
well,
especially in a city like L.A. where everyone is doing their own thing.
Well, it's just that you're just gonna have to develop it. I mean, I don't really know how else to do it. You know, I mean, you're just gonna have to play together, grow together, find that chemistry.
Does it kind of tick you off? It ticks me off because people don't give teams like the Astros the credit of developing the right way.
No, and it's because
we should be embraced for that.
Well, because we're not the hot, sexy, market. L.A., New York.
I think we are. I just don't think they don't want us. They don't want us to be.
No, of course not. And the thing is, they wanted us to be at the forefront of that scandal when every other team was doing it. And I read a quote on YouTube today. They said that the reason why they didn't take Houston's championship away, and the reason why Manfred kind of, if you really see his face when they asked him, "Hey, is the Astros championship going to be taken away?" He said, "No." Because he knew it was a league-wide problem. When I think back here in 17 or 18, he called for teams. He sent out a memo and said, "Hey, all you teams that are cheating, stop. If you're using illegal methods to get signs and all this kind of stuff, stop." He knew that it was a league-wide problem.
I don't think that's enough, though. I think him saying no, they're not going to lose their championship. I think he needs to give.
Well, because his beloved, he's a Yankee fan. He grew up a Yankees fan, and I'm probably sure he still is. But
he approved us go to the American League, right?
Yeah, I think that was him, or maybe
sure
Bud Selig.
Bud Selig, okay.
But like in his final years as the commissioner, but he knew it was a league-wide problem. That's why he didn't take the championship or put an asterisk by it. It was a league-wide problem.
If they did do that, what do you think would have happened?
It took our championship away?
I think.
Oh, dude, we would have rioted.
Oh, hell yeah.
We would have damn sure rioted. And the thing is, if you take our championship away, you got to take your beloved Yankees championship away too, because they had a bunch of roided up players from 98 to 2000 and God knows however many other seasons too.
And any player using pine tar.
Yeah.
And think about the Tour de France. It was like the 30th guy.
Lance Armstrong.
30th guy was the only guy who wasn't on dope. So he won by default. I mean, you can't use a team as a scapegoat. I think they made the wrong decision there. I think they should have came out with that whole 2017 incident, even with the buzzer, allegedly, even though he wasn't wearing one.
No, he was not.
They need to just be like, listen, it wasn't just one team. If we tell you everyone that was actually participating, it would be a bad look for the league.
It came out that the Red Sox and Yankees, it came out that they were cheating too.
I told you, I've read articles about the Dodgers.
Yeah. Josh Reddick came out and said that when he was there, the Dodgers were cheating.
And there's going to be cheating in different ways in the future too.
Exactly. So the Astros are not going to be the first team, and they weren't the first team because sign stealing has been.
It's like a silent rule. It's
part
of the game. If you're not, we took it to a different level with the video, but people have been stealing signs forever, man.
Yeah, it's been a part of the game since its inception. There's an interview with Colin Cowherd. He said baseball is a dirty game. Sign stealing has been around since its inception. It's baseball's inception, and basically, I've heard of stories where somebody was like at the scoreboard, behind the scoreboard, trying to decode signs with a telescope.
I don't think there's an issue with that. I think that's why you switch up your signs.
Yeah.
You have, I knew that as a kid they did that. They switch up their signs.
Yeah,
players, when they're batting, they look down, or they have a runner on second. Halloween Ends. I haven't seen it yet. I didn't even know you could stream it. I thought it was only in theaters, but.
Yeah, it came out on Peacock.
Is Jamie Lee Curtis the bad guy in this one? Or?
No, I tell you, it is the final movie. It does give that air of finality.
Hang on. This is Jason Elliott's review on Halloween.
Oh, yes. Now, Halloween Ends does give that, air of finality. It's not a good movie, in my opinion.
Break that down. Was it
It was.
The
It
cast,
wasn't
was
really
it the story?
It was the story and where they chose to take it. Michael Myers apparently has a disciple, and basically, it's a kid who.
It's not his son.
No, it's not a
That
son.
would have
or
made more
anything.
sense.
Michael Myers didn't have a son because he was locked up in
I
psychiatric care.
understand that, but go ahead.
But yeah, he has a disciple. This kid here named Corey.
A disciple. What is he? Jesus?
Well, no, but this guy named Corey is babysitting a kid on Halloween night, and the kid plays a trick on him and locks him in like their attic door, and so he's trying to get out. He kicks the door open, and the kid was near the door, knocks him back over the upstairs banister. He falls to his death, and that's where we start. And I think he does time for what he did, for manslaughter. And so as we, progress in the story, he comes across some kids who are looking to get beer. He says no. He cuts his hand, and later on he meets up with them again after I think he goes to a Halloween party. He gets dumped over. And near a sewer. So a bum wakes him up. And, I think he was dragged in or something like that. He was dragged in this little.
You're dissecting. What else didn't hit?
Well, it's like this.
Is it slow?
It's kind of slow, but I'm going to say that Michael Myers is not really a presence in this movie.
What'd they do?
Well, basically,
was it a bait and switch?
It is kind of a bait and switch. The trailer is a bait and switch. So basically, when Corey gets sucked into the sewers, he gets out, then goes back, and he's just like, what is this? Michael Myers grabs him by the throat, and it looks like he's gonna kill him. And now in the trailer, in that last trailer, it looks like he's gonna be like the first victim or something like that of Michael Myers, because it's a 4-year time jump from Halloween Kills. So once we get to this sewer, Michael's kind of he's hiding out. Nobody's seen him. And the town of Haddonfield is just, they're scared. It's just almost like, it's almost kind of like Gotham City a bit.
Why is he hiding out?
Well, I think he's at this point, he's getting older.
How'd they write that in?
Well, he's basically hiding in the sewers. And he hasn't killed in 4 years. So the thing is, he's just hiding out in the sewer where all these bums are. And they know about him. These bums know about him. And Michael, well, he's actually killed, but it's not like a rampage like he normally does. But the thing is, his presence is still felt, and you can feel Haddonfield just slowly decaying, much like Gotham City, slowly decaying due to the crime. Well, the legend of Michael Myers is just slowly decaying this town and the residents in it. And, when he starts choking Corey, he sees in him, it's almost like he sees like the darkness in him, from Corey having, accidentally killed his kid. He didn't mean to do it, but it's just something, that happened, and something that Corey's, forever paying for. And so once he sees this darkness in him, he lets him go. Yeah.
That doesn't make any goddamn sense on a slasher horror.
No. And that's not the character of Michael Myers. If you venture into where he is, or if you're in his house, so to speak, he's going to kill you.
Okay, what the fuck then? Why are they doing that? Why would the writers do that to this character that is beloved for decades?
Yeah, and I really don't know. And so Corey progressively gets worse, and Laurie sees it. Because now Corey is dating her granddaughter. And they want to get out of Haddonfield and whatnot. And so I guess, Corey is learning how to kill like Michael, but he's very sloppy. He's not as artful.
Don't tell me there's a training montage.
No, no. But he brings him victims. There's like a cop that I guess, follows him or something like that. Or it's something that the cop follows him to where Michael is. And
quick question. So titled Halloween Ends, right?
Yeah,
So is this that Mike Myers ends?
pretty much. And like for the story too, and maybe for the franchise. I don't know if we're going to see any Halloween movies for.
So this new guy they're trying to bring into the story, are they trying to continue the series with
the
him?
legacy with him? It kind of looks that way until the end.
Okay, so what happens at the end?
So basically, he comes to kill Laurie, and Laurie is
that
wearing,
Jamie Lee?
Yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis. Yes. So when he shows up, Laurie is wearing the same thing that she was wearing on Halloween night. There's a lot of callbacks to the first movie.
Little Easter eggs.
Yeah. So she's wearing.
Did you appreciate that?
I did. I mean, in a sloppy movie, but she's got the
but that's
knitting
the thing.
needle.
Do you think Easter eggs are used to overshadow how shitty a TV
No.
or film can be sometimes?
It's just for the fans who can pick up on those little details. Sometimes it can get a little overwhelming, but in this one, no. Like if you remember Halloween, like Jamie Lee Curtis had the blue shirt and then the jeans and everything, and then she kind of uses a knitting needle, which she used to stab Michael in the original, and it's a bait and switch again because it looks like she's gonna kill herself, but she just shoots a pumpkin. Corey comes in with Michael's mask on. He takes Michael's mask from him. And he comes in, and she was like, "Do you think I was going to kill myself?" Boom, boom. So she shoots him. And, they have a little bit of dialogue. He stabs himself in the neck to make it look like, that she killed him.
What is this, Scream 1?
Exactly. I mean, and it kind of does come off that way. And so
I haven't even heard about Mike.
Because the thing is, it's about this guy's journey. It's about Corey, and I'm just like, okay, if you're gonna make a Halloween Ends, Michael Myers has to be much more of a presence. Maybe he's getting to the point where he's slowing down. Age is kind of catching up with him.
But let me call bullshit on that. Jason, Mike Myers, these are ageless, timeless characters, in my opinion.
Yeah, but Michael Myers is a man. He is the boogeyman. He's a psycho killer in every sense of that phrase, but he's still a man.
Yeah, but I think with this type of genre, especially with him, people don't give a shit.
Maybe supernatural. Maybe he's got something supernatural inside of him.
Yeah, I mean, I would rather that they take that route, or if you're going to do that type of story, I would be okay with them promoting him, but calling it a Halloween, being in that universe.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm tired. Like in bait switches, for anyone like, oh, you're just saying
it's kind of like Iron Man 3.
Ooh, good.
Like where you thought that Ben Kingsley was actually the Mandarin.
He's so funny in that.
And then it turns out he's just an actor pretending.
Yeah, and he wasn't real quick in which film recently?
Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi,
yeah. And then he was in a short where he's in prison.
Was he watching soccer?
I think so. And what's his name? Sam Rockwell, who played Justin Hammer, was in there too.
One of my favorites.
It's a very, very, very good short.
So, Jason's 3 positives from Halloween Ends.
The callbacks to the first Halloween in the final scene. They do kill Mike. They do kill him.
Spoilers coming. How?
Well, he gets stabbed.
Who would have thunk it? You get to stab him.
Stabbed in I think it's the heart or the neck.
Was it pretty badass?
Yeah, and then it's she slashes his wrist, and so once they get him, they put him like in a car grinder and they grind his body up.
So he can't come back.
Exactly. And number 3, the positive takeaway, it ends Laurie Strode's story.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
It is. I thought her story ended in Resurrection, Halloween Resurrection, the one with Busta Rhymes where he's doing kung fu on Mike.
It's funny. Busta was in that, and Redmond was in Seed of Chucky.
Yeah.
3 negatives.
Negatives, not enough Mike. And
it's his movie.
Yeah, it's all about and it does, and it's a romance movie too. It's a horror romance movie too, but I want to see more Mike.
Did it follow the rules of horror?
Yeah, I mean it does, but the thing is, you got the final girls, Mike does kill Corey, breaks his neck.
Thank God.
Yeah. And
Well, how badass was that scene? Was it cool? Or was
it
it
was kind of cool. It was kind of cool. I mean, it was just
was it in his top 5 all-time kills?
No.
Damn.
But it's like this. I didn't like Corey I liked him as a character. I mean, he's forever paying for something that he did. And to me, if you're going to...
Who plays Corey? Do you know his name?
Rohan Campbell. He was on the Hardy Boys series.
Cool.
On I think it's on Hulu. But it's like this. If you're going to have a guy who accidentally killed somebody in the town, turning against him, knows who he is, and he's like an outcast, I would have that movie... I would have him just try to spend the entire movie trying to redeem himself. Once he comes in contact with Michael Myers, he's like, oh, shit, he let me go. Then I, maybe... When
you saw that, were you just like, wait a minute?
Yeah, I was kind of like, he let him go? Normally, Mike is a predator. Dude, apex predator.
Before you go to your next point, that just shows me either they don't care about the history of Mike Myers or they're just trying to change the narrative.
I think that they were trying to give us something different, like a, pivot, but no.
Something different's cool, but you got to do it in the right way, in the right moment. Doing something different, explain that real quick to the audience. When you do something different the wrong way, how does it affect...
When you don't exit, when you try to veer off that beaten path.
What got you there?
Yeah. And it to me, it did it in this, because... when he's wrestling with Mike to get the mask.
Wrestling.
Yeah, you'll have to see it. Because he's like, you got something I want. And he comes in and Mike's just like, hey, get back. And he doesn't kill him.
Mike's the sane one?
Yeah, exactly. He's the one who just, wants to be left alone. And so that he take Mike, throws him down, and then he gets up and takes Mike down. So he's becoming more Michael Myers towards the end, and he gets the mask off of him. And I was like...
Did you see his face?
You don't. You see him from behind.
Is he supposed to be like Jamie Lee Curtis's age?
Let me see. Well...
They're making him seem like he's 80.
He's up there in age. So... That's kind of disappointing to hear. Yeah, and the thing is...
Not the age, the route they took.
Yeah, and it's just, I would have him try to redeem himself by trying to kill Michael Myers. Because he should know, okay, yeah, I know who Laurie Strode is. There were a bunch of murders in Haddonfield, and Michael Myers could strike at any time to try to kill her. Maybe if I am the one who puts it into Michael Myers, people will see I'm not this bad guy. I'm not this malicious guy who just killed a kid, on purposely.
Why didn't they take that route?
I guess they just had something different in mind. Like I said, they wanted to, pivot, where you think that where they're going, and they just give you something different.
Do you think any of this, and this is true, I hate when people say it's not, do you think any of the politically correct, woke stuff had anything to do with it? No. Not with the women and everything, but, we can't do it this way. We got to introduce a new generation of kids to this. My favorite thing was growing up watching the old Chuckies, watching the old Freddy's, and just falling in love with these characters' horror movies.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're trying to introduce it. That's what reboots are for. That's why they keep making those endless reboots. Oh, we're going to reintroduce to a new generation. And sometimes it works, many times it doesn't. But the third is just the unsatisfying conclusion.
In what way?
I mean, it's just, you thought there was going to be this big crescendo. Like Laurie, maybe I even thought Laurie would die at the end. I even thought that they had this big knockdown, drag out final battle with each other. Stabbing the shit out. I guess, they wanted to kind of give it an upbeat, positive ending.
Is her character perceived as the somewhat hero?
Yeah. I mean, you have to remember, she was the victim back in 1970, all the way back in 1978.
But that's a great cherry on top.
Yeah, and the fact that she survives, I mean, and I like the way that they did it, and you kind of have to think, why didn't anybody think of this before to do this to Michael Myers? Okay, you tried to burn him. No. Put his ass in like a car grinder and just grind the shit out of him.
But see, that's why I don't believe this whole age thing with him, because if you set a guy on fire, he lives. I mean,
he's been put through the fucking ringer, shot up many times.
I mean, it's just like the Jason effect. Different characters, but
Jason is more of a supernatural character, much like Freddy, much
true,
like Chucky.
True, but Mike has to have some of those attributes. Or
he
else,
does. He does. I mean, he's not. The guy's mentally gone.
Yeah.
And they tried to mix in some of those supernatural elements, you know, in part 4, part 5, 6. You know,
was there humor in this? If so, was there too much?
There was some humor in this.
Did it hit?
For the most part, it did. You know,
where do you rank this Halloween Ends?
It's gonna be a low one for me. The first one, the first Halloween, John Carpenter's 1978 version, is always gonna be my favorite horror movie, and the favorite one in the franchise for me.
Where do they go after this?
I say that they just leave well enough alone,
because
they've been beating a dead horse, you know, for years. And they had the Halloween Resurrection. Then I think, you know, they did H2O. I loved H2O. When Jamie Lee Curtis came back in 98, I love that one. That's one like Josh Hartnett's debut film.
A lot of great actors get their starts in these horror films. Liev Schreiber in Scream 2, Johnny and Nightmare.
Yeah. Because they're cheap to make, and the thing is...
But they used to be good, man.
Well, yeah, but I mean, the thing is, by you know, in the 80s...
80s was the...
It was the crown jewel of that time. But see, here's the thing, though. They made so many sequels in a short amount of time. Making a horror movie is not really a time-consuming thing.
They did Jason in Space.
Yeah, back in 2002. And then that one, to me, that one was kind of funny.
Yeah, sometimes the humor is good. Like Chucky is humorous.
Bride of Chucky, yeah.
I love it.
Have you seen the Sci-Fi Channel series?
No.
You got to see it. Second season just started.
I didn't even know that was out.
Yeah, dude. I want them to do a Killer Clowns from Outer Space series, but I think they passed on it.
Ooh. Any other horror movies coming out this month?
Oh, shit. Not that I really know of. I mean, I know Smile was out, and that's getting, you know, some good reviews. People are liking that one.
All right, so to finish this topic off on Halloween Ends, what's your final takeaway from it?
My final takeaway from it, I'm sure they meant well, but ultimately the execution just falls flat. To me, it was just disappointing.
Do you think it's sad for Jamie Lee Curtis too?
Not really. I mean, look, she's got the first one. She's got the second one. The second one to me is underrated. Is an underrated movie.
Okay.
You know, I like the second one because that one was the first one where they were going to leave well enough alone.
But if it's Jamie Lee's last one, right?
Yeah, it is.
So you want to go out with a good story.
Yeah, and to me, I just felt that they kind of did her a disservice.
All right. What about your top 3 Halloween films?
Top 3? You mean
Mike
like
Myers.
in the series? Or?
Yeah, Mike Myers.
Okay, I got to say the first one.
Do the full names.
Okay, Halloween. Then the 2018 Halloween. And H2O. Anything with Jamie Lee is always going to be great.
Jason, I want to ask you about Black Adam, not because of, well, you get it, but why is it getting mixed reviews? John Campea said he didn't like it.
Maybe the execution is off, but I hear that it really does introduce like Hawkman and the JSA.
Explain JSA to people.
Justice Society of
They
America.
were first, right?
Yeah, they were first before the Justice League. Well, they had the first Flash, the first Green Lantern. So that's where like all those characters come from. The Jay Garrick, Flash.
Quick segue question. Do you think that could, the original Flash, reunite the whole universe? Because they brought Henry back.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, but the thing is, we'll just have to see how this plays out.
All right, go on.
And they say that The Rock does not have like the Middle Eastern accent. It's just him speaking as The Rock.
That doesn't bother me.
It doesn't bother me, but the thing is, T'Challa had the accent.
True.
And
but
if
this
you
is
watch,
not T'Challa. This is not the same type of actor.
He is Middle Eastern.
So that should be my role?
No, I'm not saying that.
Because there's Middle Eastern black people, man.
Yeah, but like Egyptians and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean,
I think what people are easily hating on The Rock, Dwayne Johnson for is that you're getting the same guy. But dude, you got to think about it.
Just with a little anti-hero twist.
Yeah, but he is bringing that universe and stabilizing it a little bit, man.
Yeah, and I think he was talking about, that he was trying to become an advisor for DC.
I think he might be because, dude,
I think he brought back Henry Cavill.
I think people are looking at this movie the wrong way. Even if they don't like it, you got to think, okay, well,
it's a prelude to something bigger.
Yes, he just stabilized what could potentially be the reincarnation of a series
of an entire universe.
Yes,
because DC did not have a plan before, this movie came out.
And the old
regime,
they didn't want Cavill.
No, and I think I've heard some leaked info that Superman does show up. Cavill as Superman does show up.
The only reason I know is because on Jimmy Fallon, Rock basically, he's like, he admits it basically without saying it.
Yeah,
I haven't seen any footage, or
I haven't. I read an article,
and
about
you
it.
Don't do spoilers, but
not anymore. I used to.
Yeah, it just takes the fun out of it.
You want to be surprised.
Yeah, I mean,
like I didn't even know that Thanos was going to appear at the end of Avengers.
They built up Thanos good.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, that was the greatest build up.
That was one of the best build up to a villain and a whole plan that I've seen maybe ever for a superhero film. But I think with Dwayne coming in, okay, yeah, you can hate on his acting, but he's creating that universe that's bringing everyone together. It's the thing that I think people are, it's fatigue. Like with Star Wars, it's like, yeah, you can remake it, but there's fatigue with these characters after a certain point.
And
he's bringing new characters, bro.
Yeah, and they didn't want to do that because, because it wasn't Superman or Batman or Wonder Woman. But the DC universe is much more than them.
Expand on that.
Well, I mean, you got great characters like Black Adam, like Shazam.
Who else is in it? Yeah, Black Adam and
you
Shazam.
got Dr. Fate. You got Atom Smasher.
Yeah.
You got Green Lantern. Green Lantern, I mean, they've been talking about a Green Lantern Corps show for I don't know how long, and we still haven't seen it yet. I mean, we eventually will see it, but
we've had one Green Lantern film, and how many Batmans have we had since then?
Like 80.
Not hating, we love Batman.
But yeah, but once again, going back to my point, he's not the only character in the DC EU.
Yeah, I think.
They're making a Blue Beetle movie too with
who's that?
Blue Beetle. He has a scarab on his. It's like a sentient suit, kind of like Iron. It's basically Iron Man with a sentient suit.
All right, see, this is what I'm talking about.
And
man.
They're getting a lot of diversity in these movies too, because Xolo Maridueña from Cobra Kai is playing Blue Beetle. Jamie Reyes.
And the source material, are these actually diverse people?
Yes.
Okay, so they're not just forcing the diversity.
No, it is basically like that in the comics.
That's what I respect.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, I want to see the Jon Stewart Green Lantern. Maybe I should play him. Maybe I should.
Dude, the fact that they haven't even brought you in to consult them on anything is they're going to one day realize, Kevin Feige, when he met you, you're going to meet him again at the upcoming Comic-Con when we go.
Possibly.
And I'm going to just embarrass myself for you.
Hey, go ahead and do it.
But what do you think this could lead to for DC with Black Adam?
Maybe, okay, because Black Adam, it may not be the best superhero film that you'll ever see.
I'm on board with that.
But it's going to be a start. There's a lady on Facebook. Her name is Tafetta Darling. She's the fangirl of Dallas. And she saw the movie already. And she said she gave it a 3.5 out of 5. It's a great introduction. It's very good. She said Aldous Hodge's Hawkman is really good. So, it's not perfect.
But I think
it's a start.
You needed this movie to bite the bullet on a few things.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you just have to have that, I guess, sacrificial lamb, so to speak.
I wouldn't even call it that. I just think it's just like, all right, I'll stand up in front of Congress and talk.
Yeah. And, hey, I'll go first on this book report.
Yeah. And I think he has that entrepreneurship mindset.
Yeah, he does.
But I asked Chris Score and Alan on Film Threat about Alan saw it. I was like, does CGI resemble Batman vs Superman? He said yes. That kind of disappointed me because it was a little much.
Yeah,
not the scenes directed by Ben, I think, but you know what I mean. Like, it's just a little too much. The Marvel CGI, I think, is not as good as it once was. Maybe it's because
rushing the rush production.
But I don't know. Do you see what I'm trying to go with that?
Yeah, I mean, and like, I guess some of these movies get a little too big and they overuse CG, and that's always going to be, you know, something when you have a new technology, people are just overusing it.
And
but I know She-Hulk is.
See, I think She-Hulk is going to be so much better in a film.
Oh yeah, but you have to introduce her. You have to set up that world that she's in, and they did a great job of doing that in season 1.
I think we can look at season 1 now and kind of dissect She-Hulk as a whole. I love her character. I love the actor, but I don't like how the writers put themselves in the last episode.
What do you mean?
You know how it was pretty cool because it kind of resembled the comics. You know, she goes from like scene to scene.
I like that, dude. That was so cool.
A lot of backlashes. No, that part's badass. But having the writers in the writer room, I'm going to push on this because you have to earn that. Stan Lee earned that. Anytime he was in a scene, it was great. People knew who the fuck he was. No one cares about these writers who are just man-hating. And people are going to say they're not man-hating. But they do, man. They had a whole auditorium filled of guys just hating on She-Hulk. Why? Why are you taking that route with it?
But it was kind of meta. You know, that's what it was.
What do you mean?
Meta means like, you know, you're acknowledging that, you know, like when She-Hulk does did the whole thing in the last episode with the Disney Plus,
and
stuff like that. That's meta. You're acknowledging that. Oh, hey, you know what? I am in a show. Breaking that fourth wall.
And that was unique, but instead of having the writers talk and the machine, actually have Kevin Feige in that scene.
You know what? I thought that we were going to get Kevin Feige, but the thing is...
did you know that the writer, the lady, do you know her name?
Oh, shit, I did escape me.
But she almost left the project because she wanted one of the scenes in the first episodes about her in the bathroom and all the girls like making sure she's okay. She almost walked off because Kevin Feige didn't like that scene.
So she had to fight to keep it in?
I guess, but it's man-hating. And then right when she leaves that bathroom, what happens? 4 guys try to hit on her? Yeah. I've never seen that. I know it happens, but I've never seen that.
But they're just calling attention to it. That's what it is. I mean, I don't think it's man-hating. I mean, it's just...
I think it maybe man-hating is strong, but I think they need to be, if they want to be diverse. Have 50-50 male, female. It's not about, oh, it's our turn. Let us do our story. Let us take it in our own direction. Men included. I'm not just saying females do that because they don't. A lot of good female directors, a lot of good female actors, writers, etc. But you got to find that balance. You can't isolate a part of your audience, and that's why I think her character is going to be so much more appreciated in a film setting, because I do believe the budget was so low they did the best they could, but with Bruce and his son Scar at the end,
setting up the World War Hulk.
Yeah, but I think some people missed this. He's like, when he came back, sorry, I've been gone so long. Everyone looks at each other like, what? It wasn't that long.
Yeah.
So what do you think is going on with that?
Well, they could be setting it up for a World War Hulk.
How?
Well, he's got a son, so I mean,
he looks completely different, Scar, than he did in the comics.
Yeah, but it's still him. So I guess, I mean, maybe like some more of those aliens come down and try to start a war. You know, I mean, we got elements of World War Hulk in Ragnarok.
Are you shocked he's not in regular Hulk form, Bruce Banner?
No.
I really want him to go back,
But to the Savage Hulk?
but have control. They go back and forth. Smart Hulk. It's proven that it's not popular with fans.
Well, the thing is that they're going off that Peter David run that we talked about, where he's got Banner's intellect with the Hulk's strength.
Yeah.
So maybe he can tap into that primal side of the Hulk and become even stronger.
And in the comics, it was his wife that gave birth to Scar that got killed, and then he thought the Illuminati did some bullshit.
And then he fought Scar, actually.
Yeah.
And I think She-Hulk, too.
Yeah, he was savage.
Yeah.
But season 2 She-Hulk officially approved.
Mm-hmm. Another 9-episode series.
And I think it has its own flavor to it. I think what was unique about it, it was different.
Yeah, and that's what I like. That's what I like the most about it. It was different.
Where can they get better? I know they can get better in some parts.
Well, I mean, some of the CG.
Don't worry about the CG.
Yeah.
What do you think could get better? Is it the acting from the supporting character?
The acting is fine.
I think the budget limited them with the actors they could probably get.
Well, I mean,
I thought there was a lot of funny ass characters.
Yeah, I mean, it's very comic accurate. So I mean, I'm fine with that. The
it is
tone,
comic accurate.
Yeah, the tone and everything.
Sometimes these stories aren't, and
yeah, I mean, they
will talk without saying names, and they'll tell me it is, and it's not.
It's like reading an issue of the comic, because this is the way the comic was.
I heard it wasn't completely accurate with Daredevil.
Well, Daredevil is a character that's really serious, but you put him in this here corner, and you get to see a different side of him, and he was still that
which was cool.
Daredevil.
No, my point is that really what went down fully? I know they hooked up in the comics.
I don't think so, but I know they did go up against each other in court. I don't think they hooked up. I know she hooked up with Juggernaut. I
think she got with him. Maybe not.
I know she hooked up with Juggernaut.
But I think Matt Murdock he's fitting well in that universe.
Yeah, and the thing is, I can't wait to see Born Again. I think that's going to be an awesome series.
Is that
Daredevil?
Daredevil. Okay, when does that come out?
I think 2024, maybe.
Jesus, what the hell?
Well, they're writing it right now and then film it next year.
Wow. How long do you think these shoots take?
Well, you have to understand, Born Again is an 18-episode series.
So they're sticking to the Netflix style.
Yeah, so it's they're probably going to take the entire year almost.
How long is each episode?
It's probably going to be like 45 minutes to an hour.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You think they're going to curse?
Oh, you know what?
I heard they might not.
Yeah, it's not Netflix, so.
But Pirates of the Caribbean kind of broke that mold with the PG-13.
But here's the thing, though. With Daredevil, not with Daredevil, but with Deadpool 3, they're going to have to realize that Daredevil.
Is it R?
I've heard it's probably going to be. Because the thing is, eventually you're just going to have to realize that Daredevil is an irreverent character. He's not, Spider-Man. Daredevil, not Spider-Man. He exists in a dark corner.
So what you're saying, you kind of have to take a different approach with it.
Yeah, you do. Because not everything is going to be the same.
Just like with She-Hulk having a different format.
Yeah, I have more of like an action comedy feel.
Even
like Ally McBeal.
Even though I think She-Hulk can be way more serious and badass.
Oh, and look, when she gets on a film, she is going to be. Because the thing is, the Avengers.
Out of all
she's
the
gonna
female,
she's going to be in the Avengers.
Out of all the female, I'm not hating on any female superhero. She's my most. I'm most excited for her because her acting and her character.
And I'm just excited to see her on screen. And they probably will make her look better in the movies.
It looked like they kind of made Bruce look a little worse to even it out on the last episode next to Scar.
I liked seeing Abomination, but yeah, I mean,
dude, wasn't it weird when he turned to the Abomination off screen? Is that to save money, you think? Or?
Possibly.
That's weird how that works. That's really weird. Man. Any other take on this?
You know what? I'm glad that She-Hulk has been a hit. I look forward to seeing season 2. And a movie that we forgot to talk about because it came out last week Werewolf by Night, but it's still Halloween.
Jason Elliott.
Yes,
Jason
yes.
Elliott, Werewolf by Night, bro.
Oh man, you know what? It reminded me so much.
First, tell me what it's about. I haven't heard much about this.
Well, it's about a bunch of monster hunters. They get together. They are trying to find this bloodstone. And, this bloodstone gives, like powers and whatnot. And they all come back to this one place to get it. And it's being held by Man-Thing, who is kind of like Swamp Thing. Their origins are very similar. But he predates Swamp Thing by a year and a half. So the thing is, he's also the guardian of the nexus of all realities. So he, guards like all these alternate realities and everything. Make sure nothing, too dangerous comes in and out. Nobody's, fucking with it and stuff like that. So Werewolf by Night, you got Jack Russell. He comes from, his family's cursed with being lycanthropes, which are werewolves. And so he, becomes, this werewolf by night. And it reminded me a lot of the Wolfman from the 1930s because the way it's filtered in, they shot it in color, but they put a little black and white filter on it. And it's fucking awesome.
Dude, that's pretty cool because they haven't really hit that type of character in a long time.
No, and the thing is, Blade's going to be, something like a supernatural character, in the realm of this. And you don't have to have seen anything before. It's just totally like in its own little world.
Do they stay true?
Yes, they do.
Were you happy with that?
I was happy with it. Like Man-Thing, they had a movie back in 2005 on Sci-Fi. It was totally horrible. But this one really redeems him. He's a very empathetic character. If he senses fear, his touch can burn you.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Who's that X-Men, that girl that if she touches you?
Rogue.
Yeah, which one's worse? But
yeah.
For people who don't know much about this character, what can they expect?
I mean, with Werewolf by Night, Jack Russell tries to implant memories into himself so he doesn't, I guess fully let the werewolf take over. Because like in one scene, he's kind of sniffing her. He's like, let me, do something to remember, to remember you. So when I turn, I don't kill you. And that was what they were trying to do when they captured them. They tried to have him, go full werewolf. They find out that he's a werewolf because when he touches that bloodstone, it rejects him and it hurts him.
Is that universal with werewolves, the characters? Because that's pretty cool. Like,
well, I don't remember any amulets.
Vampires with like garlic.
Well, silver bullets for werewolves.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, the Man-Thing was probably the best thing that I liked about it, just because seeing that creature on screen was pretty awesome.
How'd he look on screen?
Oh, he looked fucking great. Very comic accurate. Looked like kind of like Swamp Thing.
Good, because I love I just love when characters look great.
Yeah, and look like their source material.
Yeah, is that a pet peeve of yours sometimes? Because sometimes it works out better.
It can. I mean, like I remember when I saw Sonic for the first time, I thought he looked horrible.
The new one?
Yeah, the movie Sonic. I thought he looked horrible. I
haven't seen it. I think Jim Carrey retired after.
No, it's actually pretty good.
I don't doubt that.
But yeah, like sometimes it works against you, sometimes it doesn't. I mean, the way they did Daredevil, I really loved. I mean, for the most part, I've been happy with these, translations.
Dude, why did they change Daredevil's outfit? Is it because it's a new designer?
No, it's that's how when he first appeared, he had a yellow costume, red and yellow costume.
He was getting his costume made by
another dude,
but he doesn't say he doesn't get it made by that guy. He just says he has some new suits being made.
Yeah, and that's like when Daredevil first appeared, he was in a yellow costume, like a red and yellow costume.
How do you like this one?
I like it a lot. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's probably going to get another suit for Born Again. Or during Born Again. So
do we see Ben Affleck in the Secret Wars?
That would be cool. If
right?
that would really be cool.
That'd be awesome.
I'm hearing that Andrew Garfield and Toby could possibly be back.
I think you have more of a shot at Andrew.
Yeah.
So Toby, I think could come back, but Andrew, he's just so energetic for that role, man. I think he really truly still loves it.
Yeah, but Werewolf by Night, man, I mean, I really loved it.
Who's the actor?
It is Garcia Bernal, Gail Garcia Bernal, and he was in Y Tu Mama Tambien with what's his name, Diego Luna, who's on Andor. So they're best friends in real life too.
He's from Spain?
No, they're both from Mexico.
I thought Diego was Spaniard. I'm wrong.
Mexican.
Dude, Andor, I hear is good, but it has low ratings.
Andor is pretty much, besides Mandalorian, my favorite.
And I've heard
Star Wars. I mean, it is.
But
oh, man.
Why do you think the ratings are low? My theory is, because Diego's one of my, I said this on Film Talk, Diego's one of my favorite actors, but I don't think he has that, Harrison Ford style draw.
Well, not everybody can be Harrison Ford, who is taking over.
That's just an example.
Yeah, and Harrison Ford, on a side note,
Thunderbolt.
Yeah, he's taking over for
You're
William
so
Hurt.
fucking excited about that. I'm so happy for you.
But I thought they could have gone younger.
Oh, you're not happy about it?
No, I mean, I'm happy about it, but it's like Harrison Ford is about 80 years old, man.
Who could they have gone with?
I'm not sure, but, I mean, and they were supposed to announce it at D23. But Kathleen Kennedy didn't want that announcement to overshadow Indy 5. So
we can do a whole topic on Kathleen Kennedy another time.
but yeah, I mean he's there, but
so
Andor's great. No, I love it.
I have to still binge. I'm waiting to just watch them all because I love Diego. I just don't understand why they chose that story. You know what's going to happen.
Yeah, but it just goes to show you how Andor came to be with the rebellion. So,
yeah, that's true. Do we get any people that we see from the actual Rogue One film?
Nope.
No droids?
It's all him. It's just him. Him, meeting people and, how he first comes to form the rebellion.
Any references to, past Jedi or anything like that? Easter eggs?
Really. I mean, it's basically like, they're talking Empire.
So if it wasn't a Star Wars name behind it, would it hold up?
I think it would. It's more like a heist film almost, or kind of like what can I compare it to? It's just good TV, man.
That's refreshing.
And, to me, Book of Boba Fett is the worst Star Wars series that they brought out.
We talked about this before. They could have just used this character in various series, man.
Make him a side character, or like that character that pops up from time to time.
And didn't he have some things to say about the backlash of the series?
Because it was basically Mandalorian 2.5. I mean,
and
they kind of use it as a crutch.
That's not fair to the Mandalorian.
No, and it's not fair to Tamura Morrison either, because the Book of Boba Fett was supposed to be all about him.
And it's fair point to say that Mandalorian is derived from him, So, but Mandalorian, I think it has maybe some fatigue to it just because you have Book of Boba Fett and you have the Mandalorian in that series, and they wasted a couple scenes of Luke training Yoda young, which I think I think they could have saved Grogu. They could have saved for another time. Do you think Rosario Dawson's going to get her own series?
She is. The Ahsoka.
She deserves it.
Tano series, yeah.
Because she's a great actor, but the character of Ahsoka is just such a. If you're a source material guy for Star Wars, which we both are, you watch the Clone Wars, she does great at that role, bro.
Yeah.
You don't think so?
Oh yeah, I liked her as Ahsoka. And I'm wondering, I think she does kind of reference, Darth Vader and stuff like that. I mean, kind of what would happen in the series. Because I remember when she came back for Clone Wars, she knew it was Anakin, and she faced off against Darth Vader. She knew who it was.
Speaking of Anakin, Kenobi, Rita, what do you think we're going to get with season 2 Kenobi if it comes out? Do you think they should come out? Do you think it should be a short film or 2 short, 30-minute?
Or maybe even hour films?
Why not?
Yeah, I mean, it's like this.
I know Liam Neeson would be on board.
Yeah, I mean, and maybe
give him that Andor budget, though.
Yeah, maybe we see him come into contact with Darth Maul, like a newly reconstructed.
The fact they didn't do that the first season.
But it was all about him and Darth Vader. And I think Vader probably comes back.
How do you think they...
and maybe we might see Yoda.
How old would he be at this point? He'd still be somewhat...
He's somewhat old, kind of getting close to the end of his life. Because remember, he dies in Jedi.
How old was Luke in this Kenobi series? Probably like
probably about like 8 to 10.
So he starts training with Yoda around maybe like 17.
Let me see. He was 19 in Star Wars, so I guess some time has passed, maybe about 2 or 3 years. So he's about 21, 22.
Okay, so yeah, he's a little older, but he can probably still move.
Yeah.
But I hope if they do a Kenobi series season 2, they add more characters. I mean, who is still alive in that universe?
There's like a lot of Jedi that were in hiding.
From the Sith side. Bam.
And, we got some video games coming out, man.
Like what?
We have Gotham Knights.
No way.
Based in the Batman universe. So in this game, Batman is dead. And I got to see a little preview of it this morning. I guess it was like early access.
Okay,
and some streamers were playing it this morning, and I'll probably pick up my copy tomorrow.
So I can buy it tonight.
Yeah, I mean, well, GameStop is closed, but you can buy it tomorrow.
PS store.
Huh?
The PlayStation store.
Yeah, you can probably buy it there.
All right, so if he's dead, so who's in the game? I don't know much about this.
Batgirl, Robin. There's Nightwing and Red Hood, Jason Todd.
Can you bring Batman back, or it's not about him?
Mm-mm. When you see what happens, you'll see you can't bring him back.
What happens?
Well, I'm not going to spoil it.
Spoiler alert.
I'm not going to spoil it.
I'll spoil it later for myself.
Yeah, but it's definitive, or at least it looks that way. But
dude, I'm desperate for a good game.
But I was watching some of the combat, and the combat looks pretty good. There is no counter button. It's just an evade button.
Is it the same makers of the past Batman games?
I believe it is Rocksteady.
Okay.
And, the art, it looks to play differently, the combat and everything.
Rocksteady does Grand Theft, right?
No, that is
my bad.
Rockstar.
All right.
But, yeah, this game here looks better than what I thought it would be. So
I'm surprised they didn't make a video game for the Batman. I think that would be great. Detective.
They did Batman Begins. They did a Batman Begins video game for PlayStation 2. Yeah, they did.
Was it good?
It was okay.
I'm surprised Christopher Nolan approved that.
Yeah, and I think Christian Bale came back. So many people came back from the movies.
Hell yeah. I love seeing that. Just like in the What If Marvel series, you see Benedict Cumberbatch doing his voice. Oh, man. Any other video games?
Modern Warfare 2, Call of Duty.
Dude, Call of Duty, how do I get into it? I want to. How do I just...
I really don't play the multiplayer. I just play the campaign. That's it.
Campaigns, where to start? Where is that?
Yeah, and it's just a single player, missions and stuff like that. The story mode.
I'm disappointed in a couple sports games. My favorite sports game right now is The Show. I love MLB The Show, bro. I think it's the best user gameplay you can find.
It's hard to hit, but
But once you kind of figure it out, it's fun.
Yeah.
But what I don't like about NBA 2K is that it's just too hard. And Madden to a certain degree for me, because video games are for what? Stimulate and have fun. It's not a game of chess, man.
Yeah, but the thing is, I think they're
Rookie, it's difficult.
They're making these Sims, like a lot like the real thing. And that's what, a lot of fans wanted. They didn't want the arcade style sports. They wanted something that, was a simulation.
I agree with that, but when it becomes so difficult to even dribble into the lane and pass the ball without getting stolen, when it's a normal freaking pass, I think they got to take a look in the mirror, because they don't have a competition for NBA.
Used to be.
Remember Sega came out with the first 2K when Live was huge, and then PlayStation took Sega out of business?
Yeah, because the NBA Live just was straight trash.
The Live was good for a little bit, but then...
Yeah. In the 90s.
And then when T-Mac got on the cover, it really became evident. It just was shit compared to 2K.
But then 2K just came in and just. Whew.
And I think I think 2K's got to take a look in the mirror because
Madden was shit for a long time. They say this one here is actually pretty good.
What was the issues with Madden in the past?
It was just, they said it was like the same damn game, roster updates, and really nothing new, and like, some of the innovations that they tried to use just didn't go over well.
I can see that. Like in 2K, they have some features. They do. They probably do it in FIFA as well, but you can have draft classes from 94, 95, 96